Good morning, my taste buds, and happy Labor Day. Join me for some cookout recipes to say goodbye to summer on the unofficial last weekend of the season. So take the next 3 days off and stay where you are for SoFlo Taste. How fun is that? Good morning and happy Labor Day weekend. I'm Chef Michelle Bernstein and welcome to the Goya Kitchen, actually the outdoor kitchen in my backyard. Labor Day marks the unofficial last weekend of summer. Now for us here in SoFlo, we sure won't know if by the thermometer, but it's time for summer vacations to be over, kids to go back to school, and family cookouts to sadly be over. So today I thought it would be fun for me to give a few recipes I've been holding on to for that last cookout. So let's get cooking. I have never done a surf and turf on a skewer on a grill. So I thought, why not try it? I went over to my friends over at Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. They are at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood. I said to them, I want to do a surf and turf. What should I do? And so they sold me on the idea of filet mignon, mainly because, you know, it's so tender, it's so easy. It's a great steak to skewer. And of course, these beautiful big jumbo shrimp that are absolutely gorgeous. Call them 954-983-6831. You can obviously see them online at delawarechicken.com, but I suggest you go in there. They are so wonderful. Tell them Michelle sent you and ask them what they recommend because they always recommend the best for me. All right, my grill is on. It's good and hot. We're gonna just go ahead and skewer some surf and turf, and of course I'm gonna add a little something. Y'all know me, so I'm gonna add some mushrooms. But first things first, I have my skewers have been sitting in water for at least an hour. You can even leave them there overnight so they don't burn off in my grill. I'm gonna go ahead and take one of the fillets, and this is filet mignon. It's so tender I could probably cut it with a butter knife. And I'm gonna cut it in some nice pieces that will take about as long as the shrimp to cook. So how long does shrimp take to cook? Depending on the size, probably about 2 to 3 minutes at the most. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut a size of a fillet that I feel will cook to a good medium rare in that time. So the next thing we're gonna do is prepare the mushrooms. These are called trumpet royales, and they're very meaty. They're absolutely stunning. And they're good grilled, roasted, sauteed. I love them. I'm gonna cut them down, maybe a little further, a little shorter. And if I were to cut them in half, which is how I really love them, it won't have enough time to cook. So I'm gonna cut them in quarters, because if I cut them smaller, I know they'll catch up to the time of cooking that the filet needs and the shrimp needs. So let's go ahead and build the skewers in any old way. I guess I'll start with meat. I'll add a mushroom. I'll add a shrimp. Start again. Mushroom. Shrimp. I'm going to do one more, I think. Actually, let's stop. Yeah, I want them to be, these to be a little bit bigger. So let's do a little bit more. And you can do them with tofu. You know, you can go crazy. Okay, there we go. So next, I'm gonna just brush a little bit of olive oil on the skewers, like so. Season them pretty heavily with salt and pepper. And then let's throw them on the grill, but we're also gonna throw one more thing. I wanted to teach you how to make a Romesco sauce for grilled vegetables. So the first thing we need to do for that is grill a tomato and a jalapeno. So I'm just gonna spray the grill a little bit with some oil. Stand back when you do that. Okay, jalapeno and tomato are on. Let's go ahead and throw our skewers on as well. You know what? I'm gonna spray that too. The last thing we want is something this beautiful to stick. Even though we do have oil here, you just never know. All right, I'm gonna close the grill. I'm gonna teach you a delicious parsley butter that we're gonna brush on top of the skewers when they come out of the grill. So real quickly, this is just some room temperature butter right here. I use unsalted, but now thinking about it, I don't mind if you use salted butter actually. It might be delicious and then you don't have to salt this mixture. The zest of a lemon, a little bit of minced garlic, a little bit of Aleppo or chili flake, and a lot of parsley. Salt because I have unsalted butter. Okay, I'm gonna mix this up until it all comes together. When you come back, we'll see how our skewers are doing, and then I'm gonna show you how to put this romesco together in the food processor and the best way to grill some gorgeous, gorgeous seasonal vegetables. So come right back because I got more recipes for the grill, and hurry.
SoFlo Taste will return right after this.
Next Sunday and throughout college football season, SoFlo Home Project will air Sunday afternoons at 5:30. So make a mental note or set your DVR. Starting next Sunday's SoFlo Home Project, Sundays at 5:30 on the one and only Local 10. Now, back to Chef Michelle.
Welcome back to SoFlo Taste. I'm Chef Michelle Bernstein in my own backyard with my recipes for Labor Day weekend. So we have our skewers are looking pretty fabulous, if I may say so myself. I'm gonna brush them with this gorgeous parsley butter that I made. I'm gonna be pretty generous with it. Remember, this has parsley and chilies and garlic and butter and salt, and I think that they are ready. One quick mark, and they are set. And look how juicy these are. Thanks to, of course, beautiful juicy meat. Those mushrooms really help with the moisture, and then the shrimp. Everything is just cooked exactly the way I want it. I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of Maldon sea salt on there, and we have ourselves something absolutely delicious. All right, let's jump into the romesco that I talked about. We're gonna grill vegetables served with this traditional Spanish sauce called romesco. So I've been grilling this tomato, which is now pretty nice and cooked. The jalapeno, which is nice and marked. We're gonna just steam those two things in the bowl for just a couple minutes and set it over next to the processor where we're gonna make the romesco. I have sweet potatoes wrapped up in foil, grilling right now. I'm gonna keep this good and hot and get the vegetables ready for grilling, putting up my temperature just a little. I have a grill pan, which I can throw in, you know, the asparagus can go in here because we don't wanna lose those between the grates. I also have some scallions that I think we can totally throw in here as well. And maybe these little peppers, although they could probably go on the grill, but I'm gonna put them on here because I don't wanna lose those either. Sometimes I lose peppers. Okay, for the rest of the veggies, I've quartered up some eggplant, which we'll have in the grill. Let's take a zucchini and cut that in half. And then I've got this beautiful yellow squash as well. By the way, we grabbed these all down south in Homestead. And then some broccolini too, just whole like so. And then I've got some leftover mushrooms from the skewer, which I think I'm just gonna throw in my basket too. Okay, let's get everything ready. Let's brush with some oil. We've got the asparagus, the pepper, the mushroom, scallions, and then we'll brush our zooks, our squash, our eggplant. Let's go ahead and season everything with salt and pepper. It's always best to season ahead. That way in the cooking process, it will just taste even better. Make sure you don't forget your black pepper. And then in that sweet potato foil, we have some olive oil, salt and pepper as well. Let's go ahead and put everything on the grill. My grill right now is at about 500 degrees. I'm gonna set that basket right here. You know what, I'm gonna do another spray just so that nothing sticks. I'm gonna throw some broccolini around my basket. I think we're good. Let's close this sucker up. And then let's jump right into the Romesco. So these are Marcona almonds. You can usually find them at specialty stores, but I have a feeling everybody's gonna start selling Marconas unless they already do. They're wonderful. They have a little bit of olive oil on them and salt. It makes my mouth water. They're so delicious. Throw these in a food processor. You can use a blender for this as well. I'm gonna put bread in this because I love how bread really makes this sauce come together. But if you don't eat bread, you don't have to. You could probably use a little bit of gluten-free bread. I think that would be fine. We've got shallots and garlic that have been cooked in some olive oil until they're really nice and soft. But as you can see, we don't like adding too much color to that. It would maybe add too much of a caramelization flavor. So we're gonna add both the oil and the shallot and garlic to that. Piquillo peppers, which are kind of fancy. They're Spanish roasted peppers. You can always just use roast pepper. I'm totally cool with that. A little bit of sherry vinegar. Now there's a difference. I use sometimes in the show, I use something called Pedro Jimenez PX vinegar. It is a type of sherry, but it's sweeter. You don't want to use that for this. You really want to use regular sherry vinegar. Let's see, I've got some parsley. Just whole parsley leaves. Don't even bother chopping them up. And then finally, you can take the peel off that tomato because it's been grilled. And if you're not cooking on the grill, you can just poach the tomato in water and then the peel comes right off. Throw that in there. I'm gonna take the top off my pepper and I'm gonna throw the whole thing in here because I like mine spicy. But if you would rather take the seeds out so that it's less spicy, you can absolutely do that. Let's go ahead and run this, but I'm gonna pulse it rather than just run it. We always keep water nearby in case you need help with movement, but the food processor is great. You don't need really any help. Let's take a quick peek at our grilled vegetables, make sure we're not burning anything. The eggplant are marked beautifully. I'm gonna flip them over. I'm sure the broccolini feel the same way. Zucchini is looking pretty. Flip those over. Now we don't want mushy veggies, but we definitely want cooked through veggies. I'm gonna shake things up a little bit in my grill pan. Okay, they need a little more time. Let's come back to the Romesco. We have not seasoned it yet, but it's looking delicious. I'm gonna add a nice amount of salt. The Marcona almonds are salted, but this definitely needs a little more salt to it. Run this for another minute. Always pulsing. All right, let's see how that looks. Oh, goodness. Take a look at my Romesco. It's beautifully chunky. Ooh, so good. I could just sit here eating this all day. Come right back. These veggies hopefully will be done by then. I have so much more to teach you, so hurry up. Come right back. Welcome back to SoFlo Taste, and even though this week I'm at my home, normally J.A. World in Coconut Creek is my SoFlo Taste home. J.A. World is a wonderful and beautiful place committed to the education of our children. This 60,000 square foot interactive learning environment teaches students entrepreneurism, workplace readiness, and financial literacy. Visit jasouthflorida.org for more information or call them at 954-979-7100. Now back to the food. I want to show you my glorious plate. So the bottom has the Romesco that we made together. Remember the roast peppers and the Marcona almonds, all that chunkiness. So just think about digging into these vegetables, and then you have the crunchy nuts, a little bit spicy, a little sweet. Then you have the tartness from the sherry vinegar, so delicious. The broccolini is done, and check out my sweet potato. You have to see this. It's so beautiful. I just unwrapped it, sliced it up, and look, it's just tender and delicious. So I would just put this baby right in the center so everyone can dig in. What a gorgeous plate of food. Yum. I'll be presenting you with this beautiful vegetable platter. I mean, that to me would be a meal for 2 days. Let's jump into one of my favorite summery type of desserts, a trifle. My mother used to make a lot of trifles at home, maybe because it's British and she was Argentine, not really sure. But you start out with pound cake, and honestly, you can buy your favorite pound cake or sponge cake, you can order one, you can make one, it's really up to you. This is a sliced up cooked pound cake. We made pudding. We made a delicious vanilla pudding. And I figured since I was outside, I wasn't going to show you that part. But you can always find my recipes at soflotaste.com. All you have to do is check out whatever recipe you want to find. There's a little search engine up at the top. You'll see 3 little lines. They look like a hamburger. Just hit that. It'll be your search engine. Check whatever recipe you've seen me make. Just fill that in there, type it in, and you will find my recipe for pudding and pretty much everything that's on this show. Okay, so we've got pudding, we've got cake, we've got a trifle mold, kind of important, but you know, you can make it in pretty much anything you want. Let's make the soaking liquid that is also going to be the mixture for the berries, because this is going to be a berry trifle. I've got, by the way, whipped cream already whipped. This has the tiniest bit of powdered sugar and vanilla in it. And I have all these berries that's, by the way, we've already rinsed them all, so they're good and clean, okay? And we just set them back in the pint containers, which we also cleaned. But what I'm gonna do is make a little mixture here to soak those berries and then soak the cake. Let's go ahead and add a little bit of lemon juice to the bowl. Boy, this lemon is hard. Sorry. Okay, we're gonna do 1.5. All right, so that's my lemon juice. Phew. We got a little bit of Cointreau, which I love, but you can also use Grand Marnier. Both are orange flavored liqueurs. Just gonna add a little bit to the soaking liquid. We're gonna add a little bit of sugar. And let's go ahead and taste. Mix it up. We're just basically making a really nice syrup to make these berries perfect. Taste even better. So we're gonna do strawberries, cut up a little bit. A nice thick slice is fine. I actually don't like to cut them in quarters for this because then they kind of stick up, where if you slice them nice and flat, they will lay down perfectly for your trifle. All right, so we're gonna put in some halved blackberry, some strawberries, some blueberries, and finally some raspberries. All right, let's go ahead and mix all this together. And now we have these beautiful glazed berries that have its soaking liquid that are going to also kind of soak into the cake. And all it does, it makes it more bright. So let's go ahead and start layering up this trifle. I think the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and add some cake to the bottom so that it has a base. And a lot of people think that they need to cut this in different shapes, but honestly, the pound cake is so kind of malleable that it will mold into this trifle mold. Just press it a little. Let's go ahead and add some of this delicious berry and soaking liquid. Now, my mother used to spray the cake always with a little bit of, whether it was port wine or ice wine or Grand Marnier. That's how she used to do it. But for the kiddies, I try not to make it so drunk. All right, let's go ahead and put some pudding in here. So this is vanilla. Now, if you want to make a chocolate trifle, I would do just the raspberry and go like head in right into that orange flavor deeply. I would do oranges rather than lemons. You wouldn't need any sugar for that. And I would soak raspberries with orange juice and make a chocolate pudding. You can really turn the trifle into your own. All right, so I'm gonna add some whipped cream, which I know usually goes on the top, but y'all know I'm a big fan of whipped cream. All right, I'm gonna keep layering and pushing down as I layer. When you guys come back, I hope I'll be at the top. So hurry up and we'll see where we are when you come back. Welcome back to SoFlo Taste, everybody. I am here at home about to celebrate Labor Day with my family, grilling outside, and I'm finishing my trifle. Look how beautiful that is. Thank you so much for joining me in my backyard today. Get out and get cooking here on the last weekend of summer. I promise good food and good memories. Next week, I'll be cooking for Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. I'll have a fabulous lamb shank recipe, fattoush salad, and of course, coconut macaroons. So join me for a perfect menu on the next SoFlo Taste.
Michelle, thank you so much on the ideas on what to do for tomorrow. Labor Day cookout, genius. I can't wait to try some of those recipes, but we've got some food of our own tomorrow on SoFlo Health. I've got Levantian cuisine with a healthy twist. See? Levantian. I'm stepping up my food game, Michelle. We also tell you what to do when the gym is just too packed, and we'll show you how to fix your posture while driving. It's all right here at 12:30 p.m. on the one and only Local 10 tomorrow for SoFlo Health.
So Taste Buds, I'll see you all next week. Goodbye, mwah, good taste, and happy Labor Day. Happy Labor Day.